Have you ever heard the saying, success leaves traces? Well, the premise behind this saying is if you want to achieve something either professionally, personally, or as an organisation, then a great way to start is to go and find someone or some organisation that has already done it. Study their practices, their decisions, their activities, and you will learn what you can either emulate or copy in trying to achieve your own results. We all do this form of investigation without even knowing. For instance, a lot of us do what's called Facebook stalking. We get on Facebook and we have a look at our idols, our adversaries and people of interest, and we find out what they've done to achieve their success. It's not surprising that if you want to dramatically increase your achievements or the achievements of your organisation, then analysing the habits of millionaire entrepreneurs, elite athletes and coaches, super salespeople and the like would be a great place to start. Hello, I'm Peter Giannoli and I'm a keynote speaker and author, and I have been doing just that. Over the last 20 years, I've had the fortunate position to work with lots of high achievers. And that's what this short video is all about. What I've done is deduce all the information into the ultimate 7-step blueprint to structure your day for success. Over the years, I've had the privilege to work with and alongside a lot of extremely driven and high-performing people. From multi-millionaire entrepreneurs through to top 500 executives, elite sports people and coaches, and of course, lots of super salespeople. And in doing so, I've been in the fortunate position of having a unique peek into these high achievers' day-to-day life. I've spent just about my entire adult life studying success, as I've always been intrigued and always fascinated by the fact that success leaves traces. I've been acting like a sponge. I've been able to work with these high achievers, and in doing so, I've been able to work out the answers to these following crucial questions. Question number 1, what are the habits of these successful people? Question number 2, what are their secrets? How did they start? And how did they defy the odds? Whilst the superstars I've gotten to know have all got their own unique story, gifts and circumstances, the one thing that undoubtedly they have in common is that these people know how to structure 24 hours for maximum success. And as a consequence of that, I've been able to put together the components of the top 7 keys to success for the rest of us when it comes to structuring our day in order to produce our best work and become our best self. So tip number 1 is start your day earlier. Yes, we've all heard that starting early is a good piece of advice. We've probably heard it a million times. The unique key, however, is there is power in being alone and getting focused at the start of the day. Even if you can't wake up at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m., and let me tell you, a lot of high achievers do, you could consider committing to getting up just a few minutes earlier so that you can plan your day calmly. Plan your day before the pressure to answer emails begins, before the phone starts to ring, or the rest of your family needs your attention. Wake up early in the morning, and because these early morning hours, the best thing is, at that time, you aren't anything. You do not have a role. You simply have a soul. And by having a soul, that's when you get time to truly listen to yourself. That's when you can stop and tune into yourself. That's when you can start to work on tip number 2. And tip number 2 is to take charge of your day. In these few extra minutes, decide then and there how your day will go. Superstars all agree you must be proactive about your time rather than reactive. If you start your day reading emails from others, then their agendas and their priorities are going to be what you work on. If you jump right into your email, you automatically set the frame in your mind to react to other people's needs. And you'll just go about reacting to the world and you're not strategically thinking. Instead, take time to ask yourself, what are my moves that I require to do to move forward? So when you begin the day by moving yourself forward, before you reply to anything or someone else or any of the needs that they want you to do, that is how you get ahead. Just that point alone is $1 million secret right there. Ask yourself, what are your priorities for the day? What are your non-negotiables? Get detailed and laser focused on the most high value tasks. You can also make these key decisions the night before as you wrap up the previous day. Either way, make sure you're running your day rather than letting your day run you. Tip number 3 is break your day into blocks. Obviously, every superstar has their own day. Some of them have lots of staff, some not so many. Some of them have to perform crucially on a key date. Others, well, they have to perform all the time. However, the one common denominator is that these superstars chunk their day. They're thinking about their day and their month, for that matter, in blocks. Give yourself blocks of uninterrupted time. Blocks of uninterrupted time for creation. Blocks for emailing and corresponding with your team. Blocks for exercise, etc. Don't forget to block out time for your family or your spouse, making sure that you can unplug and be present when you're with those who matter the most. One more unexpected note about time blocking is to make sure to take some time blocked out for you to think. The thing that sets high achievers apart is the strategies that they employ. These strategies generally come about from high quality thinking. And of course, to do high quality thinking, you need some time and some space to be successful. You shouldn't be surprised, but an Italian thinker named Francesco Cirillo in the late 1980s coined a phrase for this batching of time. He called it the Pomodoro technique. If you go to Google and type in Pomodoro technique, you'll find out all about it. What's more, nowadays, there are tools all over the internet. There's apps for just about every device available to help you dedicate quality time to this high-end practice. The Pomodoro technique is something that you should follow. It batches your time into meaningful chunks. And depending on how successful you want to be and on how hard you want to work, the more chunks of time that you can batch into a day, the more productive you'll be. Tip number 4 is to cover the basics. Entrepreneurs are driven to work hard and move fast. Okay, I've got to be honest with you. Many of these moguls did not always prioritise the basics, but sooner or later they made the switch and saw impressive results. For example, your body is the vessel with which you're going to do your world-changing work. So guess what? You need to take care of it. You need to drink your 8 glasses of water. You need to exercise each and every day. You need to eat food that fuels you. And of course, you have to make sure you're getting enough rest. On a personal note, I've always found that I perform even better when I avoid sugar in its entirety. But that's a whole new discussion. Tip number 5 is to put in the hours. As I've always been fascinated as to how high achievers structured their day, in particular when they were just starting out their careers. If you study their lives now, it seems impossible. How can she run an empire she's only creating at about 4 hours a day? Or how can he run 12 companies and work out each day, meditate, and much more? Yes, a lot of these folk now have balanced lives with plenty of rest and family time. But as a consequence to do that, they've also got private chefs, housekeepers, personal trainers, assistants, and in some cases, even dog walkers. That wasn't always the case when they were building their empire that they now run. How hard was I working in the early days with my business? As long as it took to make it happen, which were endless hours, most of them will tell you. If you're going to do well at anything, well, I think you have to put the work in. If you feel like you're failing on a few other fronts because you're growing your business or venture 24/7, know that you're not alone. You're also probably doing what's required to get your dream off the ground. Guard yourself, however, from burnout and start implementing these habits as soon as you can in order to make sure you maximise all of those 24 hours of your day. Tip number 6, get quiet each day. Almost every single superstar makes time for gratitude every single day. Now, I'm not just referring to meditation or prayer, even though some of them do that, but what I do know is that most of them take at least a few seconds a day to focus on what they're thankful for. There's so much going wrong in the world at any given moment, so perhaps this practice explains how these millionaires are such a powerful and positive force. They are focusing on the good, not once a week, not once a year, but every single day. I might also add, they get themselves involved in a fair bit of charity, which releases a whole pile of biochemistry, but that too is a talk for another day. And tip number 7, find what works for you. Along the way, these innovators each discovered what worked best for them and said, you know what, damn it, to everything else. Over time, these leaders and innovators learn to care less and less about what others think or what is considered normal, and they focused instead on the practices that help them best do their work. And they focused on what helped improve themselves, and they focused on what helped them change the world. Now that is something the rest of us can easily do as well. For more useful tools on improving your productivity, why not visit my website, petergiannoli.com. That website again, petergiannoli.com. You'll find it packed with educative materials and useful resources. Please go to my website, petergiannoli.com. Thank you for watching.